Hi, I'm Mike Mann. Thank you for inviting me back to speak in front of World Domain Day, the second annual World Domain Day. It seems like last year was a big success, and I'm hoping you all are having a great time again this year, learning a lot and helping you make some great investments in .com digital assets or domain names in general. I'm sure a lot of you are interested in investing in .in and some other extensions as well. You can learn about me online at mikemann.com. It has links to my charities, my books, all the corporations that I own. It talks about my past successes of starting and building small corporations and oftentimes selling different corporations. The vast majority of the corporations that have used premium.com domain names as their brand names. Currently, I own a company called domainmarket.com, which is a speculator in high-end premium.com domain names. Prior to that, I owned buydomains.com, which many of you may have heard of. I've probably registered more domains single-handedly than anybody in the world. I registered one at a time or purchased on auction one at a time, 500,000 domain names when I was operating buydomains.com. As the operator of domainmarket.com, I've purchased one at a time, 350,000 domain names. So a total of about 850,000 domain names I've purchased and registered one at a time. And that's after looking through, hundreds to find one that I want. So I've looked through millions and millions and millions of domain possibilities, looked at the statistics and the prices, and built two fabulous corporations around that. I also invented a technology called NameFind a long time ago, which is a patented technology at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And that is the technology that's fundamental to the domain registration system. The vast majority of the websites use this domain spinner technology where you can type in keywords and it'll give you dozens or hundreds of potential alternative suggestions of what domains you might want to register. And that's a patent of mine from a long time ago, a patent that I sold along with the corporation buydomains.com. I sold buydomains to venture capitalists in Boston, and then they've resold it recently to GoDaddy. And they sold part of it to GoDaddy. They sold the Afternic piece of GoDaddy to GoDaddy, and they sold the buydomains domain assets piece to a company called EIN, Endurance International Group. I still own domainmarket.com. I also own a company called SEO.com, which is out of Salt Lake City, Utah, which provides search engine optimization services to major corporations such as Dell Corporation, Mrs. Fields Corporation, Cookie Company, D.R. Horton Homes, which is a popular real estate corporation in America. 1-800-CONTACTS is a popular website, and many others. That's SEO.com. I also own a company called Phone.com, which is an extremely innovative telecommunications company that builds a lot of cool apps within the cloud and provides voice over IP phone services for homes and offices, and builds cool apps for iPhone and the Android. The most popular product we have is called a virtual office that keeps track of voicemails, 800 numbers, vanity phone numbers, which are similar to premium domain names in many respects. Keeps track of, does transcriptions of voicemails, does conference calling, and does all sorts of neat tricks over the cloud and into the voice over IP telephones. So that's Phone.com, a second corporation that I started some time ago that I'm still a part owner of. I also own a company called WebDevelop.com here in Boca Raton, Florida, which builds apps, builds websites, provides social media for corporations and the likes. And again, I'm the president of DomainMarket.com. Those are my four main business assets, but I also operate some charitable assets as well. I operate a charity called grassroots.org that's been around for about 10 years. It's a popular charity that thousands of other charities are members of grassroots.org, and as members they receive free services, free apps, free web development, free consulting, and a variety of other free services as members of grassroots.org. We also started another charity called changetheworld.org. Changetheworld.org is a consortium of top United States university business schools, and we help enable those business schools to provide services to charities. So the charities apply to our program changetheworld.org, and a certain number of them we admit, and they get free services from business school students, help them with their business plans, help them with their social media, help them with their fundraising, help them with their websites, and a variety of other projects. It's a very popular and excellent charitable endeavor. Anybody is always welcome to help me with any of my charity endeavors, and again, you can find that all online at MikeMann.com. I also wrote a book called Make Millions and Make Change. You can download it for free. There's no advertising or nothing commercial about it. Just go to MakeMillions.com and download the book. So I have a lot of history in the domain name space. I've bought more domains than probably anybody in the world. Most likely myself and my team have sold more than anybody in the world as far as single one-at-a-time domain sales. Until recently, I also held the world record for the highest price sale ever, which was sex.com. It's listed in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most expensive domain ever sold. I think some more expensive ones have been sold since that time, but in any event, up until recently, that was the world record. Back in the day, I invented some terms in the domain marketplace that have taken on life and are very normal, popular expressions now. So the term domain investing was something that I invented. Before that, it was called cyber squatting, and it wasn't considered a legitimate industry. I invented the word domain speculation, the expression, which again was also called cyber squatting. I invented the term premium domains, which before that there was just this thing called domain names. I had to make it clear that there were some that are at a greater price or called premium domain names. Now there's a question among the business community as to whether it's a good idea to purchase these expensive premium domain names. And what I'd like to refer people to is a scientific article done by Microsoft Labs. It's called Domain Bias in Web Search. So I recommend you Google Microsoft Labs, Domain Bias in Web Search. And that's a scientific study that proves that consumers are more likely to click on a link or an ad for a company that has a premium domain, and once they're there, they're more likely to purchase from a company with a premium.com domain than an equivalent company that had the exact same products and services using a better domain. They'll get additional sales ultimately. And also, if you buy the right domain, it'll stand the test of time. So a company can buy it, let's say $10,000 as a random example. They could use it for 10 years, and if they decided they didn't like it anymore, they could sell it and it would still be worth $10,000 or more, but they would get the advantage of selling additional customers and building their brand and making more money by using this premium domain. .com is king and will always be king. I don't know much about the Indian market space, so I don't want to comment on that. Maybe there's some good investments in .in, and then there's thousands of these new GTLDs that are out there, and I would recommend staying away from those. If you insist on registering and purchasing those new TLDs as a speculative investment, I would recommend sticking with the three best ones, which are .web, .app, and .blog. I believe Google already won the .app auction, and for the most part, it's extremely risky and speculative to invest in new TLDs. And if somebody builds a great website or something on one of these new TLDs, it's only going to make the .com more valuable. So you're better off just buying the .com because you know a premium .com spelled properly, short, with proper keywords, will stand the test of time. And if anybody builds something on .in, .co.uk, or any competing domains, it won't be as valuable, and it's not as good of an investment. Also, you'll find that the Fortune 500 US companies all use .com. None of them have ventured into alternatives, and also the advertisements on television in the United States are all .com. So again, those are my suggestions. You should follow me online, follow me in social media, Google me. There's a ton of articles written about me, thousands of suggestions about purchasing domains, speculating in domains, and risks associated. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a great time at World Domain Day.